Hey there, it's Fabienne Fredrickson from the Boldheart Business Program and boldheart.com. And I'm here with Barbara Katsnelson. Barbara,
Ah,
Barbara's in the house.
what?
Introduce yourself, please, and tell all these lovely people what you do.
Hi, everyone. My name is Barbara Katsnelson, and I am a residential real estate broker in Brooklyn, New York. And I work with the Corcoran Group, and I help people sell and buy homes.
Yeah, awesome. And Barbara, when you first joined the Boldheart Business Program, what was your situation like, and why did you feel that you needed to get some help? Where were you at the time?
So I had no idea how to attract clients, no clue. It was like, I'd started out on a team as an assistant, they put me on as a broker, like a junior level broker for them. But then I decided I wanted to go out on my own, and it's very competitive, my business, and brokers do not share how they get their clients. That's like the big question. And you can become a master broker, but if you don't have clients to give that mastery away to, you're screwed. So it was really like, somebody please help me, show me like where I find these clients, how I do this. And it's just very like a huge feeling of desperation that I had, because it was like, I don't even know if I could keep going on with this, because I'm not going to make money if I don't have clients. So I needed to grow my pipeline immediately.
Yeah. Was there any resistance to joining us in the program? Like, was there any, oh my gosh, can I afford this? Or making sense of it? Like, is there anything that kept you from saying yes at first?
No. So my mentality is, in order to make money, you have to spend money. Even with my business, that's one of my strategies, especially as being a less seasoned broker, a younger broker. I have to give people more. And I know that means I have to put out the money first, and it's I also believe in a spiritual sense that it's kind of leading by example. If I, invest in myself, people will want to invest in me. It's kind of like what goes around comes around. So to me, it's kind of like, it was more like I was looking for something and this came up, versus I knew about it and I was like, I'm not sure. To me, it was like, oh my God, this is the answer that I was looking for. I didn't even know this existed, kind of thing.
Yeah, there are some people who know about us at Boldheart and who've been watching us for years, and they're just sitting there and they're waiting, and it's almost like they're waiting for permission to invest in themselves. And
right.
What I'm hearing from you is like, no, this is it. I'm a decisive person. I'm going to make it happen. Let me ask you this. What has happened in your business and in the revenues and everything? What's happened since you joined the program?
Oh, okay. So let's start with, I went into growth. So that was like the lower level. And I was in growth. And usually they say be in growth for like the year, I think, or I don't even know. And then I think after like 6 months of using maybe one or two of the tools you guys gave, because you give so many tools that it's overwhelming. So I also have my own strategies about, let me just use one or two things that I can consistently use versus like do everything. And there was one thing that you guys told me to do, warm letters, which changed my life in terms of my business. And after 6 months, I ended up moving right into leverage, which was the next level. And then the leverage, after a year in leverage, so basically a year and 6 months in the program, I tripled my income.
High five. High five.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how many brokers triple their income in a year and a half? Does that happen?
I don't, from beginning? No, I don't think that unless they're like born into a real estate family with like a lot of connections. I mean, they'd have to be a special case. Yeah.
What is it about what you get here in the Boldheart Business Program that helped you triple your business in such a very short period of time?
So it's kind of like, okay, so, there's one of the things that I realized once I immediately got into this program, which no one tells you when you start working as an entrepreneur, is that there's working on the business and working in the business. So I got that language here. So now it's like I'm working two jobs, you know, like I'm this real estate broker, but I'm also running this real estate business.
Right.
And
it's two different things, and people
two different things, and they don't teach you that in real estate school. No manager of mine ever said that to me. But like the marketing, the creating, you know, the business is so different than me actually going to sell somebody's home. It's a totally different thing. But so this is a place that teaches me how to work on the business, which I could actually take and apply to any business versus working in the business as being a broker. Mm-hmm. So that, you know, the working on the business almost, it took the edge off and it took that feeling of desperation off. And then what happened is that I immediately became super confident. And now with this confidence, I was able to go and talk about how I work in the business to people I actually want to make my clients. And it's like, go ahead, say that.
What do you think that confidence has done for your income, for the way you show up in your business?
Oh, I mean, it's, first of all, it's allowed me to like grow exponential. I mean, it's just so many levels. You know, the confidence has allowed me to really interact with clients. It's allowed me to like first and foremost, I'd say one of the things I've learned in real estate is that my time is greatly valuable. So the confidence kind of allows me to protect my time. It allows me to weed out, you know, is this person a real client? Is this person not a real client? Are they wasting my time? Do they really want to work with me? Like, to get that sense of, I used to be like, anybody work with me, I'll say yes to anyone, you know, and now I'm like, no. This is a two-way street. We need to, you know, like this is like a symbiotic relationship here. You know, it's not like take advantage of me and use me forever. You know, I have a life with family and friends, and I have like other things that I enjoy doing. I don't want to do this unless this is something we're really going to do together. And I can have those conversations. I can, you know, be assertive with attorneys, with colleagues. I mean, it's like, it's endless. You know, we don't have enough time on this call to talk about what the content.
It's like, I mean, I've known you for about what, 2 or 3 years now. It's like you've become an even more powerful, confident woman than you ever before. And I think you mentioned the strategies, right? We gave you strategies to work in, not to work on your business and really grow it with the marketing. We've helped you with your mindset and your confidence. Talk to me about the people in the program. And I want you to think about who's in the program with you. I want you to think about those times at the yacht club when we go and have, you know, drink rosé outside on the dock. And like, you know, what's it like to be surrounded by all these other entrepreneurs who are greatly advancing their business? What's it like to have these people in your life now?
It's almost like willpower and motivation, because these entrepreneurs that, like, when I show up at these meetings, it makes me hustle in between the time of the meetings, because I want to, it's like in a unspoken way, in an, like, you know, I want to show up in these meetings like, oh, I created something awesome in my business too, so that I can share it with these people, because they're coming in and saying, oh, I did this, I made like $80,000 in, you know, a month or whatever, 2 weeks, whatever they did, and whatever business they're in. And you know, I am competitive, but it's not a competition in that sense, because they're not coming in to brag, like, look at what they're not, it's not in a bragging sense. It's like, I was given, you know, these tools, I put them to work, and look at what happened. And it's more like, almost like they're surprised, but it's exciting to celebrate everybody's results. And it's like, we're all in it together. So it's kind of like we're bouncing off each other, you know, and we might not communicate within 3 months time or whatever, but once we get together, it's like, what did I do? Oh my God, I don't want to show up in that meeting and not have something to show for myself, especially because I am invested in the program financially. So I'm kind of like, I need to show up in that meeting so that I feel good about myself. And in order for me to feel good about myself, I need to create these results. And for me to create these results, I've got to do at least one or two things that you've told me to do, or I figured out at the last meeting with my group, from the groups that we do at the end of the meeting. I forgot what they are. When
Yeah.
So we have the masterminding process. So once we get together, so at the end of the meetings, once we have the masterminding process where everyone kind of commits to 3 things that they're going to do by the next meeting and figures out how, and it's a whole big thing. But basically, like, you're leaving the meeting with action steps that need to be taken so that you can create results by the next meeting.
Yeah. And I would say that we have a lot of fun. And sometimes people say, oh, a business program, but we laugh. You and I have laughed so
Oh
much.
yeah,
Oh my God.
I mean,
Tears
super fun. Well, I don't think I would do this if it wasn't fun. I think that's part of what, I mean, I guess that, like, I'm leaving that part out, but like, that's a given for me. Like, that's why I wouldn't go to like a real business school program like in NYU or like Harvard, because it's just, those seem like a nightmare, and like, they just do. And from the people that, some of the students that I've met and Leverage have taken business programs, and they're like, I've learned so much more and this is so much better. So to me, it's like, it's just so much more fun. We laugh, we talk about like mindset, we talk about like our lives and how it intertwines with the business. And there's so many people that like I can relate to. And I feel safe being really honest about what's going on with me and my business. And it's just a very comfortable environment. So yeah, I mean, I would just never do it if it wasn't fun.
Me either. It's not my kind of thing. What would
Yeah.
you say as we wrap up, Barbara? What would you say to somebody who's thinking about it and thinking about it? Is it worth the investment and should they do it? Or what do you want to say?
I mean, I think that, so when you're thinking about stuff, it's like the worst place to be, because you're still not getting results. Your results are, I'm still thinking. So you're in that place of like 0. So if you really want to go and make a difference in your life, you've got to take an action. You've got to take the next step. So if you're like thinking about it and listening to this, it's like, just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. They don't say think about it and think about it and think about it. Just do it. And like, because the thing is, that time that you're spending thinking about it is like time that you could actually be creating in. Like, how much more time do you want to be spending thinking about it? Like, it's like 5 years of your life, I mean, like,
and we're not trying to make anybody wrong. I'm not trying to make anybody wrong for saying like, stop waiting, just do it. But honestly, there's a point at which, even if you are not sure that it's like guaranteed or you're waiting for the assurance, sometimes you have to rip off the Band-Aid and say, being in the waiting game is actually delaying my success.
Exactly. It's what's happening is a delay, and it's also and it's like, it's either like, then don't do it, but don't sit there. And there's nothing wrong with thinking about it, but imagine not thinking about it, and instead taking that space in your mind that you're thinking about it from, and actually thinking about what's the next action step to get me results. Like, instead of thinking, should I do Boldheart? Should I not do Boldheart? Should I do it? I don't know. Like, instead of thinking that way, you replace that conversation with, okay, this is what Boldheart told me to do to get clients today, or this is so how am I going to do this? What do I need to do? Who do I need to call? So like, now you've changed the conversation in your brain, and it's like, would you rather have the thinking about a conversation, or would you rather have the conversation of, okay, I got to get those warm letters out, because once I do, sounds like I'm going to make some money, so like, that's the conversation, it's like, which conversation do you want to be having with your head, or I'm not going to do it, and that's okay, but I'm not going to torture myself thinking about it. For me, my experience is, when I'm in a place of I'm thinking about it, it's torture for me. I don't like it. It's like purgatory.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So here's the thing, Barbara just said, like, you got to take some sort of action. If you want to explore what it's like to be in the Boldheart Business Program, let's just have a conversation. go to boldheartstrategysession.com and let's book a time to talk and let's see if it's a fit. If it's not a fit, we'll direct you to something else. Barbara, I love you. Well, you know that.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your success story with
Thank
us.
you.
I will see you very soon.
I'll see you very soon. Okay. Bye. Thank you.